We've never had more tools designed to save time. Task managers, habit trackers, focus timers, AI planners, smart calendars. Every year, new productivity apps promise the same thing. Do more, stress less, stay organized, and yet people have never felt more overwhelmed. To-do lists keep growing. Notifications never stop. Burnout is everywhere. We optimized our schedules, automated our reminders, tracked every minute of our day on, somehow ended up more tired than before. This isn't a failure of discipline, and it's not because we're using the wrong apps. It's because the entire idea of productivity apps is built on a lie. Productivity used to mean something simple, getting important things done with reasonable effort. But somewhere along the way, productivity became an identity, a lifestyle, a constant pursuit of optimization. Apps promise to help us manage modern life. Instead, they quietly reshaped how we think about time, rest, and self-worth. Today, many people don't feel productive unless they're exhausted. They don't feel organized unless everything is tracked. And they don't feel allowed to rest unless an app schedules it. To understand why productivity apps are making us more exhausted, we need to look at what they actually do to our minds, because the problem isn't technology itself, it's the story these tools tell us about how we should live. Productivity apps don't reduce work, they expand it. The first lie of productivity apps is that they help you get everything done. In reality, they make it easier to add more when tasks are written down, scheduled, categorized, and color-coded. They feel manageable even when they're not. Apps don't ask whether something should be done. They only help you plan how to do it. This creates a dangerous illusion. If it's on the list, it must be achievable. So instead of reducing workload, productivity apps normalize overload. They turn unrealistic expectations into structured plans and exhaustion into a scheduling problem. You're just better documented. Optimization turns life into a never-ending project. Productivity apps don't just track tasks, they track habits, goals, routines, moods, sleep, water intake, screen time, and personal growth. Life becomes a system to optimize. Every moment is evaluated. Could this be done faster? Could this be improved? Could this be tracked? Instead of living, people manage themselves. This constant self-monitoring creates mental fatigue. Even rest becomes a task to execute correctly. Leisure turns into recovery time. Sleep becomes performance optimization. When everything is measured, nothing feels finished. And when nothing feels finished, rest never feels earned. Productivity apps shift responsibility onto the individual. Another uncomfortable truth: productivity apps quietly imply that if you're overwhelmed, it's your fault. Didn't finish everything. You need a better system. Still stressed? Try a different app. Behind the promise of efficiency is a deeper message. If you were more organized, you wouldn't be struggling. This hides the real causes of exhaustion, overwork, unrealistic demands, constant availability, and structural pressure, and reframes them as personal failures. Instead of questioning the workload, people optimize themselves to survive it. Burnout becomes a self-improvement problem instead of a systemic one. Notifications fragment attention and drain energy. Most productivity apps rely on reminders, alerts, and nudges to keep you on track. In theory, they help you remember. In practice, they keep your mind in a constant state of interruption. Every notification pulls attention away, resets focus, and creates low-level stress. Even when alerts are helpful, they keep your brain on edge waiting to be prompted. The result isn't better focus. It's constant mental tension. You're always reacting, always checking, always adjusting. True productivity requires deep, uninterrupted thought, but most apps train the opposite. Productivity apps confuse motion with progress. Checking off tasks feels good. It triggers a sense of accomplishment, but that feeling can be misleading. Many productivity systems prioritize volume over value. They reward doing many small things instead of fewer meaningful ones. People spend hours organizing tasks, adjusting work, and refining systems without actually moving closer to what matters. The app becomes the work. This creates a paradox. You feel busy and productive, yet strangely unfulfilled. You're moving constantly, but not deeply. Exhaustion follows when effort isn't matched by meaning. Productivity culture erased natural rhythms. Humans are not machines. Energy rises and falls. Focus comes in waves. Motivation fluctuates. Productivity apps flatten these rhythms. They assume consistency, discipline, and daily optimization. Miss a habit, the streak breaks. Fall behind. The app reminds you. Instead of adapting to human variability, apps push people to override it. This leads to guilt for resting, anxiety for slowing down, and frustration for being human. Burnout isn't just about working too much, it's about never being allowed to slow down without feeling wrong. Productivity apps turned time into a moral scorecard. Time tracking was supposed to increase awareness, but for many people, it became a form of judgment. Minutes are labeled productive or wasted. Days are evaluated. Weeks are reviewed. Suddenly, rest feels suspicious. Pleasure feels unearned. Doing nothing feels like failure. When time becomes moralized, exhaustion deepens. You're not just tired, you feel behind. Productivity apps don't just manage time. They redefine your relationship with it. The promise of control creates anxiety. Productivity apps sell control in an unpredictable world. They promise clarity, structure, and peace of mind. But control has a cost. When people believe everything should be manageable, unpredictability becomes stressful. Delays feel like breakdowns. Interruptions feel like threats. Instead of accepting uncertainty, people fight it, micromanaging every hour. This constant vigilance creates anxiety, not calm. True peace doesn't come from controlling time. It comes from trusting yourself within it. Productivity became a substitute for purpose. Perhaps the deepest lie of productivity apps is that being efficient is the same as living well. They offer structure when meaning is unclear. They give direction when purpose feels distant. But no system can answer the question, why am I doing all this? People burn out not because they're inefficient, but because they're efficient at things that don't fulfill them. No app can fix that. Productivity apps didn't fail because they're poorly designed. They failed because they promised something they could never deliver. They promised relief from exhaustion in a world that keeps demanding more instead of freeing time. They filled it. Instead of reducing pressure, they internalized it. Instead of creating balance, they turned life into a performance. The real solution isn't a better app. It's questioning the idea that every moment needs to be optimized, tracked, and improved. Rest doesn't need permission. Time doesn't need justification. And productivity isn't the same as work. Until we stop treating ourselves like projects to manage,
No tool, no matter how